I'm just such a completely different person, even from who I was 2 years ago, or even a year ago, right? And it's all because of the things that God has done in my life. Now I'm doing things now, things that matter now. Like I was doing stuff that didn't matter back then. But when God come into your life like that, he started to change things around like that. Like you're gonna be a whole different person. You'll be a completely different person. You'll start to notice that you're doing different things. Like I started to work out more. I started to read more. I just started to do stuff that mattered. Like all that other stuff don't matter. All the other stuff do not matter on the grand scheme of things. When you actually sit back and think about your life, right? Or when you actually sit back and think about your day at the end of the day, think to yourself, did I do something to elevate my life? Did I do something that's gonna leave an impact or gonna leave a legacy when I'm not here no more? And if you just sat around and you smoked or you got drunk or you was just having sex with women or just playing a game, like none of that stuff is gonna have an impact when you leave here. Ain't nobody going to sit back and be like, oh, he had this many women when he was like, nobody gonna care about that when you're gone, bro. Like, nobody's gonna care about, oh, he beat this many levels on the game when he was here. Nobody's gonna care about that, bro. Nobody's gonna care. Nobody's gonna say, oh, he used to roll the fattest blunts when he was alive. Nobody gonna care about that. I'm telling you, bro. Like, once you like start to do stuff that matter, like start to do stuff that matter. Like sitting around, getting high, drinking. Like I used to do it. I used to do it. I used to do it. So I can speak from um experience. I'm not talking because I want to talk down on people. I'm talking because I was the same dude who sat around. I was the same dude who played the game all day. I was the same dude who um smoked weed all day and would drink, and be lusting after women. I was the same dude. So it's like once I started to really build my relationship out with God, once I started to pray more, once I started to read my Bible more, then God renewed my mind, right? He transformed me into a new person. And I started doing different things like working out and reading and just being in constant communication with God, just having a relationship with Him and not caring about what nobody else say about me, not caring about how many women I could be with, not caring about if I got a girlfriend or not, but being focused on the things that God has me focused on, right? Being focused on God's plans and His purposes for my life, because at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. If you're not focused on elevating yourself or bettering yourself or being the man that God wants you to be, then you like you fail. Like you're failing, right? And the only way that you can do that is by having a relationship with Him. If you're not living in God's will, then you're trying to do things on your own, right? And that's why it tells us, do not be conformed to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will. That's because the will of God is perfect. It's the best things for our life. His plans, His purposes are the best thing for our life. So prioritize that. Prioritize a relationship with God. Focus on that. Because that's what matters. All this other stuff don't matter. I'm telling you, bro. It's not getting you. It's not gonna get you anywhere, right? It's not gonna get you nowhere. I think about in 5 years from now, somebody who's constantly working or constantly putting in work every day to better their life. Think about how much farther they're gonna be than you if you just sitting around smoking all day, or you just sitting around drinking all day, or just playing a game, or 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 masturbating and beating your meat because you got this lust mindset, right? And I can speak from experience. Like I've been there, I've done all of these things, and it has gotten me nowhere. right? And I also try to live my life on my own accord. When I say live my life on my own accord, I mean I've tried to do things that and not involve God. I've tried to start businesses that didn't involve God, it failed. I tried to have relationships that didn't involve God, it failed. I tried to, you know, just live life, honestly, live life without him, and it my life essentially failed, right? Until God came knocking on my door, right? You know, he's always gonna come knocking on your door. It's different for everybody. Everybody go through different situations. So for me, the situation for me, and like I said, I'm going to be transparent because I want to relate to other men who may be dealing with and going through the same things that I go through, right? That I went through. So for me, when God came knocking on my door, shoot, it was through a relationship, right? Like when because I have a heart to where when I love people hard, right? And so you know, being in a relationship and then just getting your heart broke, right? For me, that was my turning point. Now, for some people, it's gonna take more than that. You know, just it's gonna take more than that, right? But for me, that was like my turning point. Um, and you know God they came knocking on my door, but it's up to you if because it's up to you if you're gonna answer and let him in or not, right? And you know I would say make the right decision. You know what I mean? Like make the right decision, because at the end of the day, what matters is that you're doing the will of God, right? And you're living your life according to the plans and purposes that he has set out for you, right? God tells us in Jeremiah 29:11 that he knows the plans that he has for us. Plans to prosper us and not to harm us. Plans to give us hope in a future. I would trust in that if I was you. Trust in that, right? Can't do it by yourself. Like you can't do it on your own. You're gonna fail. I would trust in the things that God says because his word is truth. He is truth. It says in his word that his word shall never return void, right? He's a God that cannot lie. So I would trust in that.